Now let's take a look at how rundev performs with a dynamic language, such as Python. Here I have a Python application that just starts a hello world server, and then here's a Docker file for it, essentially installing dependencies and then configuring entry point to be python app.py. To start a development loop for this application, all I need to do is bring up my terminal and then execute the rundev command. So when you run rundev, it will actually parse your Docker file and it will understand your entry point and stuff like Docker ignore files. And then it will start a one-time build, push, and deploy to Cloud Run. So this is packaging up your application and deploying it to Cloud Run. But while we're doing that, we're actually injecting some stuff to your Docker file in memory. We're actually changing the entry point, and then this new application is deployed with rundev's daemon. So once the application is actually deployed, you can see that there is a run.app URL for it, but we're not going to visit that URL because our application actually has a local proxy on localhost 8080 started by rundev. Let's click that link to follow. So when we click this link, what you're going to see is there is a hello world response from our application. So let's try to make a change in the application and see what happens. Here I'm just going to add some text to the string. And then I'm going to go out to my browser and then I'm going to reload. And as you can see, the text in the browser has changed. And then if I go back to rundev, this actually took under a second. What rundev did here is to realize there's a checksum mismatch in the file systems between local and remote. And then it actually realized it's in the app.py. And it created a patch, applied the patch, and repeated the request. And then the response came from Cloud Run directly to my local instance. Now let's add a new handler to this application. Here I'm going to create a function called date that just returns a response with the current date. So this is going to serve on /date, and then let's say I have a module called handlers, and I'm going to call the date method on that. So I go ahead and import the handlers modules, and then I go and create a new file, name handlers.py, and then let's write the code for this. I basically import the datetime package, and then I'm creating a date method, and then I'm just going to return a string with the current date. Alright, so that looks good. I just save this, and then I go to my browser and I type /date and I make the request. So it looks like it's taking a while. As you can see here, what happened is that rundev actually realized there is a change in both app.py and handlers.py because I changed those files. But for some reason the application did not start. Looks like it waited for 4 seconds and then the application didn't come up because after syncing the files there was a syntax error in the app.py. So let's go back to app.py. Looks like this colon is actually causing that problem. Save it, go back to the browser, reload, and then you'll see the new handler is actually working. And then it looks like we actually uploaded the app.py, restarted the server process, and then this again took under a second. Again, this is how fast actually it is to iterate on a Python application with rundev.